Good evening. This is Evening News on Remo TV. I am Annie Baba Bekeloloa. First, on national news. Following a statement that Nigeria's debt was at a sustainable limit, the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, Thursday, advised the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, to rally Nigerians to stem the obvious fiscal slide facing the country. The Edo State Governor had last week averred that the federal government printed about 50 to 60 billion to share in March. While speaking on the state of the economy, Obaseki said, "Nigeria has changed. The economy of Nigeria is not the same again whether we like it or not. Since the Civil War, we have been managing, saying money is not our problem as long as we are pumping crude oil every day. So we have run a very strange economy and strange presidential system where the local, state and federal government at the end of the month go and hand salary. We are the only country in the world that does that. Everywhere else, governments rely on the people to produce taxes, and that is what they use to run the local government, state and the federation. But with the way we run Nigeria, the country can go to sleep. At the end of the month, we just go to Abuja, collect money, and we come back to spend. We are in trouble. Huge financially trouble." Still on national news, the groundbreaking of the proposed 200,000 barrels per day BUA refinery will hold later this year. Even as the BUA Group and Accents of France signed a progress acknowledgement statement on the projects in Lagos yesterday. Speaking at the ceremony, Chairman BUA Group, Abdulsamad Rabiu, noted that the agreement for the design of the refinery was signed with Accents last year. In his comment, President of Accents, Jane Sentenac, who attended the event virtually, said that he is pleased that the project is advancing on schedule. He also praised the cooperation between and all involved parties and reiterated the commitment of Accents to delivering the BUA refinery project on time and with the highest standards. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron has commended the BUA chairman for his commitment to developing lasting relationships between French and Nigerian businesses. On state news, the health workers in Ogun State cried the state's high degree of insecurity, lamenting that all areas of the state were becoming dangerous. The Secretary of the Nigerian Medical Association Ogun State Chapter, Dr. Oshendari, in an interview with our correspondent, explained the association's decision for embarking on strike. The NMA based its decision on the kidnapping of all staffs, a doctor and a nurse, along the Abeokuta-Imeko Road on Wednesday, 7th of April 2021. The Secretary revealed that the release of the two health workers was possible after a payment of 20 million naira ransom was made, which was solemnly raised by the association. "We want government to make where we work a safe place so that we can work without any fear. The state is now becoming unsafe for everybody living in the state, not in one axis." On international news, the Biden administration has been clear that the United States desires a relationship with Russia that is stable and predictable. "We do not think that we need to continue on a negative trajectory. However, we have also been clear publicly and privately that we will defend our national interests and impose costs for Russian government actions that seek to harm us. Today, the Biden administration is taking actions to impose costs on Russia for actions by its government and intelligence services against U.S. sovereignty and the interest. President Biden signed a new sanction executive order that provides strengthened authorities to demonstrate the administration's resolve in responding to and deterring the full scope of Russia's harmful foreign activities. This EU sends a signal that the United States will impose costs in a strategic and economically impactful manner on Russia if it continues or escalates its destabilizing international actions. This includes, in particular, efforts to undermine the conduct of free and fair democratic elections and democratic institutions in the United States and its allies and partners, engaging and facilitates malicious cyber activities against the United States and its allies and partners, foster and use transactional corruption to influence foreign governments, pursue extraterritorial activities targeting dissidents of journalists, undermine security in countries and regions important to the United States national security, and violates well-established principles of international law, including respect for the territorial integrity of states. On sports news, Delta State topped the medals table and were crowned champions of the 20th National Sports Festival, which ended on Wednesday. Team Delta topped the table with 124 gold, 91 silver and 83 bronze, with Team Edo second with 103 gold, 97 silver and 85 bronze. Team Bayelsa are third with 48 gold, 42 silver, and 49 bronze. Barring any unforeseen circumstances, Team Delta were champions of the National Sports Showpiece for a record 6 consecutive time. Lastly, on entertainment news. Popular rap artist CDQ has been granted bail by the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, though he remains under investigation. On Wednesday night, men of the NDLEA arrested Sadiq Yusuf, popularly known as CDQ, in his Lekki residence. He was said to have been picked up by the Anti-Drug Enforcement Agency for allegedly violating the drug law following an intelligence report which the agency caught wind of. However, the NDLEA's Director, Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, confirmed his arrest, saying the case was still being investigated as some substance known as loud, a cannabis variant, was found in the rapper's house. Babafemi said, yes, Siddiqui was arrested in his house at Lekki for being in possession of cannabis. He was arrested based on intelligence. As of last night, he was granted administrative bail, but he is expected back into custody today because it is an ongoing investigation. That is all we have for evening news on Remo TV. You can follow us on every of our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at official Remo TV. You can also check our website at www.remotv.com.ng. Good night.